Hey guys, Show1701 here, and today I am on Bear Battlegrounds again. Okay, so in last episode I talked to you guys about a lot of things that have changed in the snapshots that affect this game, and yeah, today I want to start working towards making up for that and trying to fix it. Now, I'm actually, after a little bit of testing, I'm starting to think that this was actually for the better, because the right-click detection, which was the main problem that I had with the newer snapshots, the right-click detection using the armor stands might be a much more viable option than the right-click detection using the Block 36. It seems better. I don't know, but we're gonna take a look at it in just a second. First of all, just like to mention, I haven't really moved these over yet, but I got rid of the landmine and got rid of the command blocks for it too. Like I said I would. I don't want that in the game anymore. I've changed my mind about that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So I want to start taking you guys through the new right-click detection using armor stands, and there's a few things I want to explain. First of all, I got the idea originally. I got the inspiration for it from a video that E10 made. Really awesome YouTuber and map maker. Highly suggest subscribing to him if you like making your own maps and stuff. But yeah, he made a video a couple weeks back, I think, that demonstrates using armor stands for right-click detection. But his version was a little it's the best description I have for it. Basically, I'm not gonna talk too much about that. You can go watch his video if you want, but yeah, and I'll also have a link to his video down in the description, maybe also his channel, I don't know. But basically, his idea was having an armor stand. Let me just get this out right here. Having an armor stand, a small armor stand, and I already have this activated actually, and having this guy constantly teleported to the player. So I would be teleporting this guy to the closest player to it, and then teleporting it up one block. Now, the first thing that I noticed that he didn't really pay attention to, I guess, is what you just saw. This is the hitbox of the armor stand. Now, even though the small armor stand looks as if it's only one block tall, in reality its hitbox is 2 blocks tall, just like the tall armor stand. So you can actually click on the top slot right over here. So I can do this, see? So that's just a little something to note right there, that you didn't really have to have that second command block teleporting the armor stand 1 block up. Like, the way you would do this is teleport the armor stand to the player and then teleport it 1 block up to the player's head level, which is what he did in his video, Ease. But that's not necessary, like I'm showing you right here. Now, the second thing was that in his video, the way he did it was like, armor stands have this little quirk about them. I don't know why, but any fall distance that any distance that they fall, even if it's only 1 block, they'll play a falling sound, and it'll make the particle of falling. And there's just a very simple way to get rid of that. The first one is when you summon the armor stand, just put the little silent tag on it. This is a new tag since 14W30A, and you can put this on all entities, make them silent, make them not make any sound, which is pretty awesome, actually. I'm really happy about that new tag. Kind of missed it in the updates, but then I saw it on the wiki, and I was really happy about that. And the second thing is, after teleporting the armor stand to the nearest player here, with this command, I then set, using entity data, the new entity data command, I'm setting the fall distance for all armor stands to 0, so that basically he won't play the particle effect. I could probably that probably works for him for it not to play the sound as well, but just for an extra safety measure, I threw in the silent thing right there. So yeah, so that's pretty awesome, and let's just get that rolling over here. Oh yeah, and the other 2 command blocks I have here are just replacing the item in the armor stand's weapon slot with air, and in its head slot with air. just because. Let me just get some weapons out here. Actually, get myself a rifle. Oh yeah, I was messing with this, wasn't I? Oh well. Get myself a rifle, not a grenade, a radio blast, and a resurrection. You'll notice right before I actually activate this, you'll notice that I added 3 command blocks here instead of the 3 sets of 9 command blocks that were before. And what this does is basically uses the new selected item tag that I mentioned in the last video, basically to figure out what item the player is holding, and then set an appropriate score for a player that's holding one of the special weapons as mentioned in this sign, same way as it was before, just in 3 command blocks instead of 27. So yeah, on the right there you'll see that for rifle the weapon score is 1, then for radio blast it's 2, then for resurrection it's 3. A little something that I'm almost 100% certain wasn't like this before, but why am I really slow? I might be going crazy. One thing I'm really not happy about that they changed, just a minor detail, is that you know how renamed items have italic text, like slanted text, like this. You know what I mean? Like this is slanted, this isn't. You know what I mean? Yeah, before it used to display in the HUD down here, it used to display it normal like anything else, but now it's slanted as well. I'm kind of not too happy about that. It's just a minor detail. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah, so anyway, so this determines, these 3 command blocks determine what item the player is holding. Now, these 2 get rid of the item in the armor stand's head and item and a weapon slot. So basically that's because of this and this. Just gets rid of that, and I've tested it and it is instant, like it doesn't even render the item. So let's just place that redstone block there, and that's running on the fill clock now. And you'll see that this guy is just sort of following me around everywhere, and I can give him items and you won't even see that because it's instantly getting cleared with the replace item command. That's my phone. But if I go ahead and go into game mode A, then you'll see it is actually consuming items. So I am actually giving this guy items, and what I can do now is right before I'm clearing those items from this guy using these commands, I can test for a guy with a particular item in his weapon slot or head slot or whatever, and that's how I determine which item I use to click on this guy with. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, as you can tell, I haven't got this fully working. I hope by the end of this episode to get it fully working and set up and everything. But for now, I'm just going to take you guys through this. So let's get rid of that, and this guy will stop right there. We can kill him now. And these 4 command blocks are my method, which is kind of similar actually to the way I had it before with the block 36. Just with armor stands, and it's pretty cool. So basically, first thing we do is we execute at all players and kill any armor stands within a 2-block radius. This is basically kind of similar to, I'm assuming here, by the way, that you guys have seen the 6th episode where I explained the original right-click detection in this game. So this is similar to clearing the 3x3x3 block, 3x3x3 cube around the player's head. Filling it with air data 1. This is kind of the similar thing here, so we're killing any armor stands within 2 blocks. So that basically kills any armor stands that are left behind when you move, and also gets rid of any armor stands when you switch to an item or just deselect a weapon, basically. And here we're executing at any player who has a weapon score of at least 1, so he's holding any sort of weapon, and then we're summoning an armor stand at his head level. We could just summon it at his feet level, but it doesn't really matter. I just think it's a little bit better this way. But we're summoning an armor stand in his... You know what? In fact, let's just do it at his feet level. I think that's going to be simpler. And yeah, and then it just has the same tags as before. By the way, this invisible, I have it set to 0 right now just so I can show you guys. But eventually, it's obviously going to be on 0, so you're not going to see the armor stand. Should have probably mentioned that, but it's fine. And then these 2 command blocks are the same, just clearing the weapon and head slot for the armor stands. So if we do that now, I'm just gonna go an F5 here. So there's nothing, and then if I select a weapon, there's armor stands following me. And the reason this is better than teleporting is because teleporting entities around means you have to, like, it sort of very swiftly moves the entity from point A to point B when you're teleporting it, but it's not instant, it's not immediate. And like you could see before that the armor stands were kind of slacking behind me just a little bit, and that makes it so that if you're like running and or walking in any direction even and trying to right click, then it won't work. It just won't detect that you right clicked if you're on the move. But with this way, it's a lot better. It's a lot more effective in that manner. And it's still not 100%. Like if you're sprinting, particularly in a diagonal, it won't work every single time, but if you like click it just 2 or 3 times, it should detect your right clicking, and I think that's really awesome. You can see it right here. I'm killing off all the armor stands, and then as long as I'm still holding a weapon, I'm summoning new ones at my location. I stopped holding a weapon, and that one goes away and then comes back. Very rapid. By the way, you'll notice that it seems like it's staying for a little bit longer, but it really isn't. That's just it's just rendering a little slower than it's actually happening. But yeah, it's really awesome. Now another thing I'd like to point out is that if I just go ahead and do this again, you can see my hitbox, right? The player's hitbox, and you can see the armor stand hitbox. And if you'll notice, the armor stand hitbox is just a little bit thinner than the player's hitbox, which, don't quote me on this because I haven't tested this, but this leads me to believe that another player would still be able to punch me even if there's an armor stand in my position. And that was something that was kind of a problem with the Block 36. Oh, and also another player can't right click on this. Basically, this is perfect. This is the reason why I said that this might be much better than Block 36. Okay, so I'm not quite done with the right click detection. I've got a working method going on here, but it's not quite satisfactory. I still need to tinker with it a little bit. But before I move on with that, there's a few things I wanted to show you, and I figured I'll just get those off the table so I can then continue working on the right click detection. So first of all, it's not really something I can show you, but I can tell you that I changed it so that I changed something, a little detail in the rifle that's going to make my life a whole lot easier. Basically, I've mentioned this before, I've said this before many times actually. The rifle has a certain range at which it works. So it works all over the Y rotation, and I'm just going to remind you guys again, this is the Y rotation and this is the X rotation right here. So it works all around you in the Y rotation in all directions, but it only works in the limit of in the range of between 30 to negative 30 in the X rotation. Whichever way you want to look at it, from negative 30 to positive 30. And if you're outside of that range, it simply didn't work before. That's like the range that it's relevant to shoot a rifle at, I think. And having more command blocks, like tripling that amount of command blocks and causing a lot more lag, just for that little added bonus of having the edges, isn't really that important in my opinion. So I just didn't do it and did it like this. Anyway, yeah, it's been like that for a while. It's been like that pretty soon after I started working on the rifle. And anyway, what I changed actually was that I made it so that if you actually shoot it outside of the range, then like if you shoot it up here, it'll pick the highest one that's possible. So it'll shoot it about there. So it'll be the same as if you shot it from negative 30 exactly. And same thing for the bottom. If you shoot it too low, then it's going to shoot it as if you shot it from exactly 30. So let's just get a little demonstration here. And I am using the right click detection right now, but it's not fully working. And sometimes you'll have to like try and shoot several times before it like try and right click several times before it'll actually recognize. So yeah, anyway, just bear with me here. So this is normal shooting right here. Right? Okay. Pretty nice. Then if we shoot right here at negative 30, it shoots right there. And if I look up a fair bit, let's just get the HUD out of the way. You'll see it shoots the same exact place. Yep. And same thing for positive 30. So that's positive 30. Come on. Work with me here, game. Oh, come on. And if we go lower, then it shoots the same place. Yeah, okay. So hopefully that's clear. And then the next thing I wanted to show you is a little something over here that I think I figured out how I'm going to make it so that we can still have like a stack with more than one of the rifle. Earlier in this episode, I believe I showed, might have been last episode actually, I don't remember. Oopsie. I showed that if you use replace item, which I forget already how to do. There we go. So we can have more than one in a stack of unstackable items using replace item, which is something we used to be able to do with give and summon, but that got patched. So anyway, we can still use replace item to do that. It's a little more annoying, a little more convoluted to do it, but the simplest way I figured out for doing it is the following. So if I just grab myself one iron horse armor and show you guys this command. This is a command that is just testing for any player with an iron horse armor with the name rifle. But then it also, like the main point of this is that it's testing for an unbreakable tag, which is a tag that is usually used for tools. It means that they won't lose durability, but it's not actually doing anything here. It's just like a hidden tag that you can't see and you can't, like, it doesn't register or change anything. It doesn't do anything visually. Earlier in this episode, you saw that I had a little enchantment going over there that didn't actually change anything, but it was just like an enchantment, and that was my first attempt. But the problem with that was that it was obviously visual. You could see that it's different than an unenchanted iron horse armor. But if it has the unbreakable tag, and there's a couple other things that I could have done, but this is pretty simple. So if it has the unbreakable tag, then it doesn't actually register differently in any way. It just looks the exact same as before. But yeah, if you don't have the F3H, I believe it is, then yeah, it just says rifle and you can't see anything. And the thing is, if you have unbreakable set to 1, then it will actually write unbreakable at the bottom, like in the lore area. But this way, if you set the unbreakable to 0, which is a tag, like unbreakable doesn't usually exist on an item, and if you just need to set it to 0 so that it exists, but it doesn't actually change anything, and then we can test for it over here. That was a really bad explanation, and I apologize, but yeah, that's what we do. So my idea is we get a few redstone blocks. I think 5 should be enough, and we put 9 command blocks. The first 9 command blocks test each and every individual hotbar slot to see if there's an iron horse armor, if there's a rifle with the unbreakable tag in it, and set an appropriate score. And then for a player with each, so like if it's in the 0 slot, then set the player's score to 0 for a specific objective, and then if it's here, then 4. If it's here, then set it to 8, and so on. And then for a player that has a score of 4 in that objective, then replace item in his 4th hotbar slot with just a normal rifle without the unbreakable tag, and have multiple ones. I don't actually remember, I think I had it at 3 before. So the commands for that are pretty simple. So we do scoreboard players set at A, then we need to add a new objective, let's say rifle slot to 0. If they have inventory ID Minecraft iron horse armor tag display name rifle and unbreakable 0B. Yep, that's right. Okay, so we set the scoreboard objective rifle slot to 0 if a player has a rifle in his 0th slot, which I actually forgot to do, so let's add it right here. I guess we could actually add it at the end. Slot 0B, I believe it needs a B. Yeah, okay. So let's scoreboard objectives add rifle slot. Dummy, of course. Scoreboard objectives set display rifle, set display sidebar rifle slot. Okay. So if I have one of these in my 0th slot, very good. Then we should actually move that up and have a reset going over here. Scoreboard players reset everybody for rifle slot. Okay, very good. So it works if it's in the 0th slot, it sets my score to 0, only if it's in the 0th slot. Excellent. Then now it's 3, and if I move it to over here, it's 6. Okay, this works. We can get rid of this command block now, and then we need to add the replace item stuff. So let's do that right now. So what was the replace item thing again? Okay, let's use this as a basis. Let's go at a score rifle slot min equals 0. Score rifle slot equals 0. So if it's exactly 0, then we will go slot.hotbar.0. Iron horse armor 64. What's replace item? Entity at p slot.hotbar.0, let's say, and then this is the stuff I have. So it's amount, data, and data tag. So data 0. The amount will actually be, let's just do 4 for now. And data tag is going to be display name rifle. Yep, I think that's all we need, right? Excellent. So let's just check that that works. So we have 4. Very good. Now if I just give myself one of these, it should go to my 0th slot, which is the only one we have set up right now. Let's see what it looks like. Good, you can barely notice it. Excellent, so this is the way I'm gonna have to do it, and I'm gonna do this only once. I'm gonna try from now on to only use stackable items for my different weapons, because having multiple ones, like 19, this is 19 command blocks to make this work. Having multiple sets of 19 command blocks for just this one simple task is kind of silly. But yeah, anyway, let's just get this over with. So that's 0, 1. Okay. So we have it figured out now, and if I just clear my inventory, let's go ahead and try this. Oh. Right, there we go. They always come in bundles of 4. Let's just finish out trying here. Make sure all the different slots work. There we go, they do. And I'm of course in creative mode, so I'm not losing items here from giving them to the armor stands, but if I go in adventure mode, I will be losing items. Come on. Awesome. Slash clear. And I'll just go ahead and show you the radial blast as well. You can see that it works while I'm walking around, sprinting as well. It works just the same as if I'm standing. There's a little bit of an issue with the whole system, but you can see Like I said, that it works the same when I'm sprinting, moving around. Works the same as for when I'm standing. So yeah. Let's just try this one more time because I really like it. Awesome. One last thing I wanted to show you before we continue with the right-click detection is a new experimental weapon that I've actually set up quite a while ago, but yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think I'm actually going to keep it. I have a few minor things to change, but this is a Molotov Cocktail. Oh yeah. Wow. Oops. Anyway, Molotov Cocktail. So, basically, what's going on here, I'm just going to take you through this command, which I actually already have out here. I'm giving a potion with a very specific texture, or the fire resistance, and it has to be a splash potion. We're hiding flags so we don't see what actual potion effect it has. We have the name Molotov Cocktail, and it has a what is this, absorption, I think, effect, lowest level for a very short duration, and it's supposed to not show the particles, but for some, there's like a bug that it does show the particles at the moment for splash potions. Anyway, the point is, it just gives you a little effect that we can test for, and this is the chunk of command blocks that handles this. So what we're doing is setting, and I'm using an objective called test over here. I'll probably change it to something else. But yeah, we're just setting the objective test to 1 for any player who has the absorption effect. Then we are executing at a player who has a test score of 1, and we're setting the block at his foot level to lava with data 7. Now, lava, similarly to water, has data values from 0 all the way up to 7, and this is what 0 looks like. It's a pretty tall block. Or did I say 7? That's what 0 looks like, and this is what 7 looks like. So it's very small. This is a source block, and it'll stay there if it doesn't get cleared. This is obviously not a source block, so it's very slim and barely noticeable. Well, it's not barely noticeable, but it's less noticeable than this. And it does actually go away if you give it a block update. Unlike this one, which will just spread. Yep. So, basically, we're setting a lava that will disappear at the player's foot level. Then we are executing, and the player has a score test of 2. Bear this in mind. And we are filling a 3x3x3 area around that player with air, only replacing lava. So that basically gets rid of that, and we're using 7 so it's less visible, and so it also goes away on its own in the slim chance that the player got away too quickly. And the player gets the test score of 2 1 tick after he gets the score test of 1. So as you can see right here, we're adding 1 to the test score of any player who has a score of test of at least 1. And that goes up to 2, and then it also goes up to 3, I believe. Yeah, here we're clearing the absorption effect from all players with a score test of 2. And we are resetting the test score of any players who have a score test of 3. Yep. Oh yeah, and this is just something else. All those 6 command blocks are just for this Molotov Cocktail. And if we just take a look at it real quick here, that's what happens basically. And what it does is, if I just go ahead into adventure mode, it sets the lava, immediately deals 2 hearts of damage, and then the player is set on fire for a while. I haven't actually measured the duration, but if you're not wearing any armor and you're at full health, it will take you all the way down to 2.5 hearts. If you're also healing because of hunger, being full. So let's just take a look at that, and yeah, the 2 yellow hearts do flash for a second, but it's not really that big of a deal. I chose absorption for some reason, which I don't remember, but it was the best decision to make at that time. And there you go, 2.5 hearts, and then it stops. So yeah, Molotov Cocktail. Awesome. And let's just take a look at a new little feature. When I die, my inventory is cleared, which you couldn't have seen back right now, but yeah, my inventory does get cleared when I die, and I am spawned in this exact location, looking in this direction. So that's just another little thing. And by the way, the reason my inventory gets cleared is basically I don't want dead players to drop their items all over the battleground. So I have keep inventory set to true, so the player actually keeps his inventory. But then when the instant he dies, his inventory gets cleared. So yeah. Alright guys, but as you can tell, this episode is getting very long already, probably over 30 minutes by now. And yeah, I think we should end it here. The right-click detection isn't quite done yet, and we're going to finish it up in the next episode. It's pretty close to done, and you saw a demonstration of it working before. But in the next episode, I'm going to finish it up and explain both this system as it is right now and the new system. And I'm going to explain why this didn't work and everything. I'm going to explain everything, show you guys everything, and most likely, hopefully, fingers crossed, have a final working version. But like I said, that's going to be it for today, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.